Most traders think that they have control, but in reality they don't. This is why 98% of traders are unprofitable. In this video, I'll show you how to overcome the illusion of control and reach profitability faster than you've ever expected. At some point, I was in the same predicament. I was in the same situation. I used to chase certainty. I used to chase the perfect strategy, the perfect model, the new buzzword that was trending all over social media, right? But in reality, in trading, you can't have the best strategy. There's no perfect model. There's no anything. However, that also means that most strategies do work and most techniques do work. And with that knowledge, that only means that you need to control the factors that make the strategy work rather than actually trying to control what happens in the markets. Once you are able to pin down a very good edge and a good strategy, all that is meant to come after is just you executing that edge to the best of your ability and allowing the market to provide you with what it will provide you. People think that profitability is hard, but profitability is actually easy in my opinion, because you can have a 1 to 2 with 40% win rate and be profitable. You can have a 1 to 5 with 20% win rate and be profitable. Just from that, you can understand that trading is more of a numbers game rather than an analysis game. So your analysis will not make you profitable. Your execution will. And once you have executed, you can't control what happens after that. You either win or you lose. We've all been in that situation. We feel like we're doing everything correctly, we're backtesting correctly, we're reviewing correctly, we're doing our journaling perfect, right? But in the markets, it's saying something different. You're losing all the time, losing streaks. So what could this be? I believe that this could be a matter of control. You could be jeopardizing yourself by trying to control the outcome of what happens in your trades. That can be on and off the trade. Let's say you take a loss, right? In that loss, you might go and write a paragraph of what you did wrong. But in reality, that actually might change your model over time. And then over time, you're not trading the same way, but then you're still unprofitable. Nothing has changed. But people don't realize that because they think that writing all of these things and over analyzing and trying to control too much in the markets is going to allow them to be profitable. I mean, I did the same thing only a few days ago. I was staring at NQ, waiting for a setup, but I was over analyzing, waiting, oh, is this the right candle? Trying to just micromanage things that I'm not meant to be micromanaging until that setup ran away from me and it ended up being a win. But then guess what? I didn't just miss a win. I got into the trade and I ended up losing because I was chasing price after already trying to control what was going on, trying to understand this candle and this candle. Like, that affected me very negatively. And then I missed out on a big win because of it. I did enter that trade, but not because I was following my plan, but because I had fear of missing out. And that's what happens a lot. A lot of traders get caught up into this fear of missing out. That can happen because they're trying to control too much of what's going on. If the market's moving, leave it alone. If it's running away from you, leave it alone. And a lot of people can't do that. And that's what discerns profitable traders to unprofitable traders. If you want to be profitable, you need to make sure that you are not too controlling in the market. So for example, when I was taking the best setups that I've ever took in my life, I was executing at my best of my ability. I was taking only a few trades a day, executing them. Win or loss, I didn't care. I just moved on. One of the best things that I've ever done is become a set and forget kind of guy. I will set my trade and forget. I'll set my TP, I'll set my stop loss and forget. And that's one of the best things I've ever done because less watching equals less emotional damage. If you're here sitting here watching every 15-second candle, bro, your brain is going to get fried. You have to be able to stop looking at the charts and let your trades play out. You can press buttons and try and do all these other things, but you're either going to win or you're going to lose. Once you understand that, that's when you will start to excel in your trading and become the best trader that you've ever been. Mark Douglas said something important in trading in the zone. He basically said, you don't need to know what happens next to make money in the market. That is such a simple statement, which is also very true. So what can you control? Now I'll tell you what you actually can control in the markets, and this is where you spend most of your focus in trading. So one thing I like to control in my trading is trade frequency. So the amount of trades you take will affect how profitable you'll be. You can choose how often you trade. You can choose to take 100 trades a day if you wanted to, but the best way to do this, in my opinion, is to take less. Less is more. The more trades you add to your system, the more randomness that adds over time. The more randomness that is in a strategy, the harder it will be for you to control your emotions when you're in a setup. Those trades have more intention than having more trades. I personally like to take maximum of 2 trades a day. I think that works best for me. But don't get it twisted. That does not mean that having a lot of trades per day does not work. It can work. But for most traders, and if you're just starting off, having multiple trades in one day will not be effective in your growth. If you prioritize 1 to 2 trades a day, you'll see growth in your trading like you've never seen before. The second factor I like to control is my risk to reward. This all comes down to personality. However, you have to understand that risk to reward ratio has an inverse relationship. The higher your risk to reward, the lower your win rate will be. Once you allow it to push over 1 to 4, 1 to 5, then at that point, you're allowing too much randomness into your trading. Think about it. The faster you get into a trade and the faster you get out, the less uncertainty. If you are holding trades for multiple hours, multiple days, hoping for a very big risk to reward, 1 to 20, a lot of things can happen. There can be fundamental news that affects your trades. There can be anything. There could be a Donald Trump tweet, all I care, and you just get cooked out. No. So those are the things you don't want to experience. In my opinion, in my experience, I'll say go for a lower risk to reward, preferably between 1 and 4. I'll say 1 to 2 is the sweet spot. And the final thing, screen time. I feel like a lot of traders spend a lot of time looking at the screen to the point where it's even confusing. Like, I don't know how you guys don't get analysis paralysis and just always confused, bro, because it's crazy to me. People will spend hours writing paragraphs and doing all of that. I personally don't think you need all of that. I would rather prefer limiting to myself to only 1 or 2 sessions, preferably London, New York. That's what I trade at the moment. I'm not gonna go and trade all sessions. I'm not gonna go and place trades any time of the day. There's a set time of day that you need to be trading and making sure that you are executing during those moments. You must also stop staring at every single candle. If you're a day trader just like me and you do use lower time frames like 5 minutes and 1 minute, you need to stop looking at those charts as soon as you enter your trades, because all it's gonna do is cause chaos in your brain. You're gonna end up closing your trade. You're gonna end up trying to minimize your risk. You're going to try and do these things and do that. So you need to make sure as soon as you enter that trade, you shut down your PC, you shut down whatever you need to do. Make sure your stop orders are in order, and that's all you need. If you keep trying to look at the 1 minute candle, which candle is going to do this, which one's going to do that, am I going to make money is when it comes up here, you're just going to negatively affect your emotions and psychology. God forbid you win those trades, because once you win those trades, that's in your brain chemistry. You're going to think that looking at every single candle is what made you win. But in reality, that didn't make you win. The market moved in that way, and you just had your setup in that moment for it to move in that way. And once you understand that, you will be free. With all that being said, profitability comes from controlling yourself and not the market. Make sure you're focusing on variables that you actually can control instead of the ones that you can't control. After that, you need to let probability and the numbers play out as they're meant to. Don't touch a thing. And with that being said, you now understand that you don't have control over the market. You only have control of the factors that you can control, and make sure you do control those factors to the best of your ability so that way you can extract income in these markets.